Thank you so much, Hari, for this warm welcome. And welcome everyone to the Hashi Talks India. And today I am going to talk about one of the really good scenarios which I faced in my project. So this is not just a demo-based scenario; it is a real-time scenario which one can face in any kind of projects. Thus, I am sharing one of my experience. And today we would be seeing how we can revolutionize the cloud infrastructure deployment with some special power of integration. So, hey everyone, short introduction again. And I'm Aniket Kumar Sinha. I work as the cloud consultant at Rapid Circle. And as Harish said, I am certified in four of the Microsoft Azure certifications. And I love to be part of communities and contribute to communities. I write blogs, I speak at multiple sessions. And this was a bit about me. If you want to connect with me, you can check out my social handle. And moving ahead with our talk, so you can see that we have a separated pen here or a separated side section here. So one will be covered by GitHub Actions and another would be covered by Terraform Cloud. So you can see that there is a separation between the GitHub Actions and Terraform Cloud right now. So now just imagine a scenario that you are working for a project where you are using Terraform infrastructure and you are using Terraform Cloud to deploy that specific infrastructure to your any cloud service provider. So we are taking the example of Microsoft Azure. Okay. So you are writing the code, you are creating the infrastructure, you are using the Terraform Cloud to deploy it using the Terraform Cloud workspace. You are using the pipeline there to run the pipeline and deploy your infrastructure over Azure. Right. But you may also want some of the scriptings. You may be using Python, you may be using PowerShell, or you may want to use some special kind of test, for example, pester tests. So for that case, you cannot use Terraform Cloud. For that case, you need some other CI/CD tool. And for this reason, we are taking an example of GitHub Actions workflows. Okay. So you have created the infrastructure, you have created your scripts or test. Now, what you need to do, you are running two specific pipelines over the two different platforms. So you are juggling between the Terraform Cloud to check your Terraform infrastructure, and you're also juggling between the GitHub Actions to check your other scripts, right? So you need to keep a track of two pipelines over the two separate platforms. And also, if you are getting any errors, you are getting any bugs, you need to fix in all over the two platforms separately. And you can only understand now that yeah, it is a really tough job, it is a really hectic job. But as a DevOps engineer, we would like to simplify the things, we like to automate the things, we don't like to juggle much over the different platforms, and that is what we would be doing today. So we would be trying to create a handshake between the Terraform Cloud and the GitHub Actions. And how we would be doing that? We would be trying to achieve an integration nirvana between the GitHub Actions and Terraform Cloud. So we would be ultimately integrating Terraform Cloud inside the GitHub Action workflow so that it can ease our work and we would not need to shuffle or juggle between the two separate platforms. So let's now see that how we can do this. So first and the foremost important part is the Terraform Cloud. So we are currently trying to open the Terraform Cloud section, or this is the Terraform Cloud portal, and we would be creating a workspace because to deploy anything over Azure or to deploy anything over any cloud service provider, we need to use the Terraform Cloud workspaces as a medium. So we are creating a Terraform Cloud workspace. We would be choosing an API driven workflow. Why we would be choosing an API driven workflow, we would be seeing it ahead. So let's name it as TFC-GH-integration. And let's select some of the already present project. And let's take integration nirvana as just a description. And then we are creating this. Oh, sorry for this. Okay, then tap on create. So you can see now the workspace has been created, and you can check this code because it would be really important for us. So we have created an API driven workflow or the workspace. Now why we have created this API driven workspace? Because to create a connection or to integrate Terraform Cloud over the GitHub Action, we need to create some kind of connection, and we would be using the API to create such connection. Okay, so now we also need some API token, right? So let's create that API token. So we would be going to the user settings, and under this user settings you would be getting an act option to tokens. Okay, so this is an option to token. Now you can create a token here. So let's say TFC underscore integration, and you can set your specific expiration date, and then we would be tapping on generate. So you can see now our token has been generated, and this is the specific token which we would be using. Okay, so one important thing to be noted here, that we can create API tokens on the TFC in 3 different levels. Okay, so one is a user level token. Okay, so a user can create a token as its own level. Okay, second is the team level token. So we can create teams in Terraform Cloud, so you can create a token for that specific team. And third is the organization level token. So you can see that this specific, like my name is currently the organization name. Okay, so you might be using some other organization and you would be having that organization, so you can create a token to that organization level. So you cannot create a token to this specific workspace level. Now this is an important point to be noted, because we would be using some other things because of this reasons. So we have created the API token now. So now we need to add this specific token as a secret in our GitHub Actions. So we would be like copying this, we would be going to the GitHub, and then we are creating a new repository for our code and for our GitHub Action workflow. Okay, so we are creating a tfc-gh-repo. Okay, we can add a description as integration nirvana, and then we are just creating the repository. Okay, now we need to add this specific token as a secret to this repository. So how we would be doing that, we would be going to the settings, then we are having the secrets and variables section here. Okay, so we are tapping this, we are having the option of actions, so we are tapping on this action, and then we have the option of new repository secret. So we need to tap on this. Okay, add our secret here or the token here and the name. So we are using the same name which we given here. So we are tapping on this and then creating the secret or the token here. So now this specific secret or the API token has been added as a secret in our GitHub repository. Okay, so now we can use this specific secret in any of the code or in any of the workflows, and we would be doing the same. Now the API token has been generated. It has been added as a secret. Now let's create the main.tf file, which is one of the important part of this specific infrastructure. So let's name this as main.tf. Okay, now we got this specific code here, right? So we would be using this specific code in our main.tf file or in our providers.tf file if needed. So what this specific code is doing? So you can see that this Terraform block is having the cloud block. Okay, so this cloud block is having the organization name and the workspaces name. So organization name is same as the organization, and we are having the workspace name. So as we discussed earlier, that we can only create tokens or the API tokens at user level, team level, and organization level. So how you would be making the GitHub Action workflow understand that you need to deploy this specific infrastructure code to this specific workspaces, right? So how we would you telling the workflow that you need to use this specific workspace to run the pipeline. So this is the cloud structure which we will be needing there to mention it. So that's why we are mentioning the workspace name. You can see this TFC integration, TFCGH integration. So let's copy this code and add this in our main.tf file. So this is an important part. Okay. So for the demo purpose, I have already created a repository with all the code structures, and I'm using that. So we have created this main.tf file, and we have added this cloud block here. Now we also added some extra blocks under Terraform. We have added the providers block for the Azure RM, and we have added a resource block section. So since we are using the Azure, so we have added some code blocks related to the Azure RM, and we are trying to deploy a resource. Let's take the resource group as an example resource to be deployed. Okay. So now we have created all the code structures. Now, say as we are discussing about Azure, so we need to create some connection to Azure too, right? So how we would be doing that? So we are going to the variables, and under variables, we would be adding our uh, like the details related to the Azure under this variable section. So for that case, we are already having an already created Terraform Cloud workspace with all the details mentioned there. So I am using that to showcase. So we have created the specific TFC integrated with GH Actions as a workspace. And you can see that we have added this specific workspace here also in the code of the main.tf. So we are going to the variables tab. And you can see in the workspace variable, I have added the required details. And what are these? Client ID, client secret, subscription ID, tenant ID. These are the SPN related details. So whosoever is using the Azure, he or she must be aware about this, that how we can create a connection. So we are using such things. And then the code is done. The creation, the connection between the Terraform Cloud and the GitHub Action is done. The Terraform Cloud workspace connection is also done. So now let's create the workflow under GitHub Actions. So we are like creating a .github folder and then workflow, then deploy.yaml. So we are using this specific code. So what this code is containing. So we are adding the name of the GitHub action workflow. Okay. And then we are having these specific jobs. Okay. So under jobs, we are having a Terraform job, and the Terraform job is containing these entities. And you can see this is the checkout stage. So you can understand this checkout stage would be using the GitHub action token, sorry, the GitHub action workflows to run this. But the next code is the Terraform codes. So this code would be running over the TFC environment. Okay. So we are setting up the Terraform here. Okay. By setup Terraform, we are then adding the secret or the API token under the setup Terraform stage. Okay. And then we are having these simple steps, as Terraform init, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, and Terraform apply. So now you can see that this checkout stage would be using the GitHub runners, and the other Terraform related stage would be using the Terraform cloud related runners. Okay. So this is the code structure for the YAML file, and you know that we need to create .yaml file under this specific code structure or the folder structure to create a specific GitHub Actions workflow. Okay. So now our code part is done. Let's now check this workflow over the actions. So we are going to actions, we are going to the created workflow, and we are having this workflow. We can run the workflow from here. So to add more depth to this, so we are doing some changes in our resource or the main.tf file. So I am using the GitHub code spaces or the github.dev to do some minimal changes under the resource which we are deploying, that is the resource group. So we are just doing a minimal name change under that resource group so that we can see what changes or how the pipeline is running to show the different changes of the Terraform cloud and the GitHub actions. So the Terraform, so the GitHub code spaces is opening up, and here it is. So let's just remove some letters from our resource group name. Okay, so we are saving it and we are committing it. and push. Okay, so let's now move back to our normal GitHub. And you can see that the name has been changed. Now we are going to the actions, we are going to the workflows, and then we are running the specific workflow. So now you can see this new run. So you can see the setup job is done, checkout is done, setup Terraform is also done. Okay. And then init, validate, and plan is running. Let's go to this specific section also. Yeah, this one. And you can go to the runs. You can see that a similar run is running here. So you can see even the code, the logs are also same. So let me just move this here and then use this specific log section to show you that how this is running. So you can see that the apply has started, and here also the apply started. So what happens when you are running the Terraform Cloud run under the GitHub Actions? So it runs the plan phase separately in one of the separate pipeline, and again it runs a separate run or the separate pipeline run for the apply stage also. So we are having the Terraform apply stage. You would be saying the similar things that are coming up here are running here. Okay, so whatever would be shown here, the same thing would be here. So we are not running two separate pipelines, or we are not running the two separate platforms. So the Terraform code or the Terraform infrastructure code is running over the Terraform Cloud. It is using the Terraform Cloud runners to run it, and it is just showing a copy of that specific run, or the specific log is coming up here. So you can also see that to view this run in the browser, visit this specific URL. So let's open this URL. So this URL will lead to you this specific run only. So it is opening up, and you can see that same run ID. See, the run ID is same. So you can even manage your Terraform Cloud run via GitHub Actions only. And you can see the same thing. It is still destroying. It is also showing still destroying. The same thing is running because it is running over the one single platform, and a copy or a duplicate of it is coming up in the GitHub Actions. So now you can check your plan phase, you can check your apply phase here, and even the cost estimations under the GitHub Actions only. You don't need to jump from GitHub Actions to Terraform Cloud for anything. Every log, even if it is failing, it is passing, every log would be coming up here in the GitHub Actions. So you don't need to jump to any other place. So this is the integration nirvana that we tried to achieve, and we have fully achieved it. So we are using the Terraform Cloud, and in one of the previous sessions, this has been stated about the states logs. So I also want to cover up that we can lock the state under the Terraform Cloud, because it is one of the very good feature of the Terraform Cloud which is provided. So you can like tap on the lock state, and it is now locked, so no one can alter your specific current state file. Okay, no one can alter it, no one can rewrite over your infrastructure. And to showcase an example of that, I have one of the previous pipelines that can be a proof to you. So we are having this, and under the Terraform apply, you can see this waiting for manually locked workspace. So I locked the workspace at some time, and then I forgot to unlock it, and then I restarted running it. Okay, so it was not moving ahead, it was waiting for the lock to be unlocked. So if we are not unlocking the state lock, so it would try to run for a few times and would fail, because the state is ultimately locked. So these are some of the benefits of Terraform clouds, and these are some of the benefits of achieving the integration nirvana between Terraform Cloud and the GitHub Actions. So you have ultimately achieved the integration nirvana, and talking about the recap of the stages what we did. So we created the Terraform Cloud workspace with the API driven workflow. We then created the API token. We then added that specific API token in the GitHub repository as the secret. And then we added that specific Azure related details under the our workspaces as the variables. And then we created our main.tf code, which added the Terraform code structure, where we added the cloud block containing the organization, the Terraform Cloud organization name, and the Terraform Cloud workspace name. And then we created our workflow file containing the details of the workflow, like setup, terraform init, terraform validate, terraform apply. And if you have some other scripts, some automation scripts, you can add it to this. If you have some tester test or some other kind of test, you can add to it. So this checkout stages or the any other stages which cannot run over the Terraform cloud would run over the GitHub runners. And from the setup Terraform stage to the apply stage would be running over the Terraform cloud or with the Terraform cloud runners. So this is the beauty of the Terraform that is offered. So you have also took a look at the workflow run. We have succeeded using the Terraform cloud integrated GitHub action workflow, right? So we are just using the GitHub actions now, or to just checking the GitHub actions workflow now, and the Terraform cloud is also getting used. The security of the Terraform cloud, the beauty of the pipeline of the Terraform cloud for the Terraform infrastructure is all there, but we don't need to juggle between the two platforms. So this was it for the integration nirvana. And if you want to go through the codes, or if you want the code of this integration nirvana steps, you can scan this QR code or move over to this bit.ly/tfc integration gh action, and you would be getting all the code structures there. And this is the state file migration. So this is another important link, or the which I would like to share. So suppose you are using a general structure of Terraform now, and you are storing your state file in any of the storage accounts. So if we are using the Azure, so we are storing our current state file in our Azure storage account. But you need to switch over to the Terraform cloud for the more security. So how you would be shifting or switching your current state file from your Azure storage account to the Terraform cloud is containing this. Because if we are just creating a new workspace and trying to run it over the Azure infrastructure, it would be giving us error, because the state file is ultimately holding what are the resources which are already deployed of the Azure, right? So there are some specific steps which you would be needing to shifting your state file from the storage account to the Terraform cloud, so that it should not give you any error. So these are some of the important links. And yeah, thank you for this uh, great platform for me to share about my experience. And thank you everyone who joined this specific talk. And you have achieved a really good integration nirvana par. Now you can use this in your current project, and you can scan this QR code or search for Linktree Aniket Kumar Sena to connect with me all over the platforms. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. I would be more than happy to help you out.